Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today. My name is Mel Rose, and I'm here to share your daily aspects. Today is Wednesday, April 20, 2022. Sun in Taurus and a waning gibbous moon in Sagittarius, making ingress to Capricorn late this evening. We express ourselves by becoming grounded in the material world, harnessing the power of earthly resources to create security, and we have an inner drive to seek expanded learning and universal truths. Now is a time to reflect on our experience as we look forward to the next creative cycle. We reflect on the growth we have undergone. We recognize that our transformation is not yet complete, and we relish the adventure of new growth as we begin to put down roots. Today is the first full day of the sun's transit in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is our fixed earth sign, and it is ruled by Venus. Fixed earth stabilizes resources, our money, our bodies, our possessions. Venus helps us find the right balance and to know how much is enough. I'm going to get right into the aspects, but first I will point out the handcrafted key on the right-hand side of the page. Most of the symbols on the page have made it into the key, so if you desire a point of reference, it's right here. I have otherwise divided the page into two columns, for each of our luminaries. The moon is the luminary that sheds light on our inner lives. This is your relationship with yourself, what it feels like for you to be in your body, heart, and mind, and in your home. The transits and aspects the moon makes are all very brief, and they have a subtle impact on those things you think, feel, know, and intuit, but may choose whether to express. The sun is the luminary that sheds light on our outer lives. This is the outward expression of yourself in the world, specifically in your work, social, and civic spaces. I address the sun and the rest of the planet's movements on this side because these have a greater impact on that outward expression. We begin on the moon side today, friends. Just after noon, Central Standard Time, at 12:18, moon goes sextile to Saturn. Cancer, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius. We find that the inner life is working with our sense of stability. The actions we make at this time are likely to contribute some strength to our personal foundations. Just an hour later at 1:20 p.m., moon goes square to Neptune, Cancer, Sagittarius, and Pisces. We may feel out of touch or conversely overwhelmed by the current, more intense sense of connection to the all of everything that's coming in with these intensified Neptune vibes. Taken together, I can see that becoming grounded in and strengthened by what is familiar and tangible may lead to a feeling of disconnect with the creative flow that is nonetheless still available. Give it some time. This is a little bit like taking a walk in a beautiful natural space. The presence of a human moving around in such a space can cause the wildlife to become quiet or to run and hide. However, if we sit or stand quietly, the birds and critters gradually come back out to do their thing, and we can enjoy the sense of connection that was temporarily scared off by our blundering in. At 3:46 this afternoon, that's a 3. A void of course moon goes square to Jupiter, so that's void of course. Cancer and Sagittarius may especially feel this. Moon and Jupiter always feels good, and Jupiter's effect is amplified at this time, again with that conjunct with Neptune. So enjoy the feeling of expansion and generosity at this time. Just be careful not to become overbearing in your desire to share abundance. The moon will be 7 full hours void of course today. That is to say, our inner lives are relatively without influence as we move between these signs. Any part of this time is great for diving into our intuitive and creative practices, having conversations with ourselves and spirit about our feelings and our desires. And then at 10:52, later this evening, moon will make ingress to Capricorn, and our inner life intentions will see that we have work to do if we want to find a solid outcome. On the sun side tonight, after midnight at 12:43 Thursday morning, Sun goes trine to Moon, Taurus, Leo, Cancer, Capricorn. This aspect points to the waning gibbous phase, which we are now in the thick of, reflecting on how things have gone and what we are determined not to repeat in the next creative cycle. Symbolically, we have ideal functioning between our sun side and our moon side, our outer and our inner selves. We can be very effective at this time, so it's good to focus our energies on what can be released. In the ongoing column, we have Venus sextile Uranus here with us through Saturday. These are here to provide cooperative functioning between our ability to attract what we like and the impulse to make changes. Taurus, Libra, and Aquarius may especially notice this. It's okay to change your mind about what kind of attention or affection you'd like to receive. It's also okay to change your mind about what compensation is due to you or needed in return for your efforts. Conversations about these changes of heart are likely to bring about a good outcome. Jupiter conjunct Neptune continues through the 25th to rain down these blessings of cooperative functioning. These blessings of positivity, fertility, and creative growth. I would call it cooperative functioning. It's really like a echo chamber where they boost one another, amplify one another's energies. Pisces and Sagittarius have ruling planets here. Jupiter represents the nurture and growth of our capacity to connect with the broader world through education, travel, and doing business, things like that. Neptune represents the interconnectedness of all things having being, including you and me, with these energies amplified, like I said, and under pressure together in their home sign of Pisces, nonetheless. We receive an energetic invitation to notice our expanded creative flow, to seek more inspiration and interaction with our intuitive practices, and to notice the positive incoming opportunities that result from those labors of love. These vibes are in full force all this week. I encourage you to stand in the flow and appreciate the blessings. I'm just going to stop here for a moment and point out that Pisces is in a few places here. We're definitely doing some Pisces stuff right now, which is interesting because the sun is no longer in Pisces, but a lot of Pisces is affecting a lot of the aspects that we're encountering right now, and so it just brings that sort of dreamy, more colorful, imaginative, and creative vibe. And considering that Pisces is in that conjunct with Jupiter, it's sort of like they're the same thing, and so it's there to really intensify, again, that sense of fertility, creativity, imagination, of what we can, and expansion of what we can be, do, and have. Okay, Sun square Pluto is also with us through the 25th. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio would be most involved here. Our conscious outward expression finds itself in a challenging position with the transformative energies that are coming down. Although we're going through some shifts and we are welcoming in these creative opportunities, we still have to focus and put in a little more intentional effort toward the deep and total changes we seek to make. And the Mercury sextile Venus will be with us through the 11th of May, giving us positive cooperative vibes between the intellect and our ability to attract what we need and desire. Taurus, Gemini, Virgo, and Libra have ruling planets here. At this time, we are empowered to negotiate the terms by which we receive attention, affection, and compensation. And this very much goes hand in hand with this Venus sextile Uranus. We've got cooperation, and all of these are kind of Venus is ready to make some changes, change their mind about how we like to receive attention, affection, resources, that kind of thing. And Mercury is ready to have a conversation about what Venus wants. So it's a good time to be really negotiating your terms. Take advantage of the opportunity, again, especially with Jupiter and Neptune conspiring to bring in more blessings and creativity for us. Sometimes Venus just receives gifts, right? And especially at a time like this, Venus is in Pisces, Jupiter and Neptune are both in Pisces, doing this conjunction thing with expanded creativity and inspiration. So Venus is receiving these gifts especially. And I would say that, with the receiving of a gift, sometimes your life changes, your plan changes, your decision, your choice about what it is that you like to receive and how you like to receive it changes. And so when that changes, we have to have the conversations, we have to set the expectations, we have to make those adjustments in our life. Again, sort of opening up a further capacity to hold all the blessings. On Saturday, we'll see that third quarter moon in Aquarius, and this will be the moon phase where we actively begin to release the things, attitudes, dispositions, ideas, and stuff that no longer aid us in reaching our goals. Sunday brings a square aspect between Mercury and Saturn, bringing up questions about the plan and how it will be used to ensure our stability through all of this growth and change. And that's it for today's astrology. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Please like my video, subscribe, and click the notifications bell. I post here every day, and I wouldn't want you to miss a thing. And friends, I appreciate it so much when you comment to ask questions or provide encouragement. I see you doing that, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It isn't just gratifying for me to know that you're listening, which it is, but it also lets YouTube know that you're engaged in the content, and that helps me out a lot. So again, thank you. Also, if you know anyone for whom this guidance may resonate, I encourage you to share. Now I'm going to take a couple of minutes to talk about Tarot as it relates to astrology today. First, I will discuss the Tarot card that sits on the side of the page. Then I'll do a quick rundown of today's astrology before throwing a random card that hopefully speaks to today's energies. So let's go ahead and get into that. The Tarot card that sits on the side of the page is still the Four of Wands, even though the sun is now in earthbound Taurus. So we have one more day of fiery Tarot vibes, just because it's supposed to take up 10 days. And then we're going to move into Pentacles instead and start talking about our earthly resources. But Ten of Wands is a burden. Four of Wands is a celebration. Okay, so when you come to the point of the Four of Wands in the Tarot, wands represent fire. This is about your spark, your energy, your drive, your enthusiasm, your passion to those inner resources that push you to get things done. To those inner resources that really push you to act to get things done. And, in context, we've already, sort of gathered our resources, created a plan, turned that plan into something that's happening in action. We've watched it grow and unfold, sometimes very quickly, and we can see the expansion, and we can start to see what that, what having made that conquest, what having made that journey has meant for us in terms of what we're receiving. And so, knowing that we've had some initial success, this isn't necessarily the culmination of all of our passion and drive. It's just a moment of respite, a time to stop and say, hey, I've made it this far. And you can look around yourself at your family, your chosen family, your friends, your community, and you can celebrate with them the fresh starts that you've made, because A, nobody does it alone, and B, we're all making fresh starts at this time. We've all sort of rededicated ourselves to what we're passionate about, what we want to be in the world, what kind of that we want to be in the world. And at this time, we're celebrating harmony and joy and good relationships. This is very much a community vibe or a friends or family group vibe. It's not just about the individual, it's about all of us, the work that we've done together, the drive and passion that we've shared to support one another into our endeavors. And it also represents a time of peace after a period of hard work. So, you did the push, you did the drive, you paid attention, you surmounted the obstacles and planned for them, you reached the far shore. You know that you have more to do, but it's not a bad idea just to have a little homecoming, or if you can't actually have a real homecoming, at least be in touch with those people who are your home in the world and allow them to celebrate what you have achieved and also contribute to the celebration of what they've achieved. This is the time for that. And tomorrow we're going to get into the Five of Coins, or Five of Pentacles, which will be an entirely different vibe. So enjoy this celebration while you still have it on deck, so to speak. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and mix up some cards while I remind myself and the cards that the Sun is in Taurus. Sun in Taurus is a time when our attention, our focus, our drive, our outer life concentration is brought to what makes us feel secure, what helps us feel grounded in what is familiar. Now that we have made a start, we kind of know better what it is that we're doing, and we know from what resources we can draw to grow stronger. What I didn't mention here, what I didn't put down here today, is that Uranus is also in Taurus, and Uranus is not necessarily a very comfortable planet in a Taurus vibe, because Uranus brings about shakeups and wants us to change and shift things, and Taurus really just seeks a place to put down roots. So we've been undergoing this Uranus and Taurus vibe for quite some time now. We've been noticing a lot of shifting in our foundations, a lot of unsteadiness in what we would like to think is secure for us. It's a little hard to determine what's going to be secure today, might not be secure tomorrow, and that's a little bit of a challenge for Taurus. But we have this Venus sextile Uranus. Venus is Taurus's ruling planet, so really it's a good time to be thinking about those changes that we want to make in terms of how we draw on our resources, what resources we have to draw on. Venus sextile Uranus is really making it a positive thing that these shifts are available to us in our sense of security, in terms of what we like to receive. And then also in Taurus right now is Mercury, right? Mercury is always a little step ahead of us. And Mercury is, our thoughts, plans, and communications, that day-to-day running around that we do. So it's a good time to be thinking and talking and planning about what would make us feel secure, and what what kind of changes, shifts are coming up in terms. Mercury is also in Taurus. What kind of changes and shifts are upon us? It's great to have the conversation, especially if you can see it in advance. Like, what's going to need to change here is this, right? And then on the moon side, we've got that waning gibbous moon starting in Sagittarius this evening, moving into Capricorn rather late. Moon in Sagittarius, our little hearts just grow wings. They become adventurous. It's not a fantasy. It's really a search for universal truths. We just kind of, our hearts have this desire to take on new learning and expanded understanding of what's going on for ourselves and in the world. And then, after it moves into Capricorn, we spend a couple of days really just with our hearts and our minds on, the work that we have to do. Capricorn's very much in this mode of, if I just put my nose down and do the work, then I will have a success, which is great. Venus sextile Uranus and Mercury sextile Venus. It's okay to change your mind about what you like to receive, what you consider secure, what you want for your foundations, what resources you want to draw on. And it's also a good time to be negotiating your terms for that. So have the conversations, have a plan, talk out loud about it. If you need a raise, if you need to raise your prices, if you need to raise the standards by which people treat you, now's the time to be having those conversations. After all, Jupiter is conjunct with Neptune. We have this really expanded creative capacity. So really just dream it up any way you would like to have it, and just say, ideally, I would receive my affection from you in this way. Ideally, I would get paid this much in this way for this kind of activity. Think about what is ideal for you. Think about the expanded version of what's ideal for you, what you would like to be ideal for you 5 years from now or 10 years from now. Start asking for it now. It's a good time to be negotiating those terms. And then Sun square Pluto, we recognize that we're still going through these transitions. We sort of relish the adventure of the change. But we have to pay attention to the transformation, okay? When you're looking down the road 5 or 10 years from now and you see the person you want to be, see what that person's standards are for receiving, pay attention to that. Keep your eyes on that prize, okay? So that, if you're thinking about your transformation, who it is that you're trying to become, then, when you give it your attention and you see an opportunity, you can step in that direction. It's no big deal. And then on the moon side, we have some sort of mixed vibes. This moon sextile Saturn with moon square Neptune, just says that sometimes we find ourselves getting grounded, right? With Sun and Taurus, we're starting to get this grounded feeling, like we really want to have our feet on the ground and have what's comfortable and familiar around us, do what works, do what's tried and true. But in bringing ourselves back into that grounded space, we might find a challenge connecting to that expanded flow of creativity and inspiration coming from Neptune. And it's okay, just give yourself some quiet time and allow the flow to adjust itself to the new paradigm within. Moon square Jupiter, not really ever a bad time. Let's just try not to be overbearing or oversharing. Let's try not to be the one who gives so much that we embarrass another or make them feel overwhelmed. 7 hours void of course today is a great time at any time during those 7 hours to dive into those intuitive and creative practices, have those conversations with ourselves and with spirit about these transformations that we make, right? And about what we'd like to share and about what we'd like to receive. And then the moon makes ingress to Capricorn, which I said is about the work that we have to do. Sun trine moon sort of in the middle of the night there is really just the indicator of this waning gibbous moon, but it is also the ideal functioning alignment of our outer and our inner lives. And we'll have that for about 24 hours. So it's a really good alignment for personal functioning, and with personal functioning, we can bring our focus to these things that we're working on right now and probably have a lot of good success, ideal outcomes. And with all of that said, we have the Page of Swords. Somebody has a fresh new idea. Anytime I show this card to my wife, anytime she sees this card, she says it makes her think of pizza. Because it really does look like he's got a pepperoni pizza around his neck or something. But seriously, the Page of Swords, the page is, among the royalty in the minor arcana of the tarot, pages are the most youthful, the most idealistic, sort of the most brash. Okay, swords is about the intellect. It's about those things the thoughts, plans, and communications we make. And the Page of Swords is going to be a person who has some good ideas. They're untested. They have some things they think they'd like to say. Those things are somewhat untested, but that's not a reason to let go of initiative. Okay, to say I don't have experience in this is not to say that you won't have success, right? The Page of Swords seems to be aware of this. I see this sort of almost spiral figure at their forehead. If you could see it straight on, it would look like a target or a spiral figure. And, that tells me like they've got a lot of information coming in sort of through the third eye, a lot of expanded flow, a lot of inspiration, okay, a lot of new ideas, a lot of fresh learning and ideas in this person's head, and they feel like they have a good idea to go forward into the world. We want to tell people, we want to share with others what what our great idea is. Makes me think of that song Classic Girl by Jane's Addiction. Makes you tell your friends, hey man, why don't you listen to my great idea? So that's very Page of Swords vibe, just like I've got a great idea. I want to share it with somebody. If this is you, it's a great time to share it with somebody. And I would say definitely bring it back to your family group or your friends group, your cohort with whom you share your successes and celebrate theirs. The people with whom you have the most harmony and joy and good relationships, the people who can give you sort of peace, a peaceful feeling about the work that you have been doing. Definitely bring your good ideas to those people and be willing and ready to share. Don't hold back your good ideas either, because you're worried that, that somebody might not, or somebody might take advantage of your good idea in their own way and you won't benefit from it, that kind of thing. You have You have work on your side. I always see this pattern as sort of having done work. It's a little bit busy. It's a little bit muscular. So, you've done the work, and you can wield your idea with more strength than anybody else. So you still have the advantage there. And among friends and family, it shouldn't be an issue anyway. And I think that's all I have to say about it. Thank you so much for showing up today, friends. I do so appreciate you for being here. My name is Melrose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today.